welcome back to episode 5 interview, The Incredible Human Now and Then. And today we have my first dude in the camera. And this is my brother, spiritual brother, Norman Ng. And this interview is to showcase anyone like my brother who is incredible in his own self and have done so much work in the past, but also have struggled a lot in his life to get to the point of his purpose and mission, right? I don't know, you don't like the word success. It is what it is. That I want to showcase these people that I know personally, that I have observed and also learned from their struggle over the years, and I have witnessed their strategies and also their life in a way that brings them into the way they want to be. Yay! So many friends saying hi to us already. And this interview will actually present them to you, showing you that anyone, just like all of them and yourself, no matter who you are, what power you hold, what you believe you can be or not, it really doesn't matter. As long as you learn from your own lessons, when struggle comes, you struggle through, and you walk through your own darkness, there will always be light. When you come out into light, you'll find your purpose, you'll find clarity, you'll find all that you want to know, all that you need to know to live the life it's supposed to be, to live the life fully the way you want to be. So today we have Norman Ng again. And can you introduce yourself to our audience here?
Sure. There's not much to say. I'm just some guy. I'm called Norman Ng. I started my own healing type of style. This style is called Formless Movement. And are we going to do that, the dowsing of the energy now? Start it now,
it's up to you. Whatever you want. Or maybe later.
Okay, let me know.
Let us hear from you first. So Norman is the founder of the Formless Movement.
He's
very
not true. It's a lie.
Yeah, his face is way too handsome. Yeah, he always covers himself. That's his gimmick. Let me tell you the truth.
No way.
Yes, so he's the founder of Formless Movement. When did you found that?
This journey started in 2012.
2012.
And, I saw you. I met you there. Remember?
Yes.
The spiritual staircase with Manny and a bunch of other people, right? And I guess it kind of just came up with that name around that time as well. I couldn't exactly pinpoint the exact day, but around that time I started to create and started to have ideas about energy healing and what it meant, and how I could express it my way. And so it kind of snowballed from there. But about 2012.
Yes, 2012. Yeah. And this guy came to one of our meetups for Raising Vibration, the Spiritual Staircase meetup. Many of us know each other from that meetup. No. And he is just like himself. He's a very hidden guy. Yeah. I did not really, I know the name. I know this guy come to my meetup several times. He never really speak too much. But he would participate, he would not hesitate to be there, but he would not be very active in anything either, or making his voice heard on anything. It's just not him. So I did not really pay attention to this dude at the beginning that much like I pay attention to other people. But what caught me one day, I don't know if you know about this. There was one day I came in to set up and you're already there. You were early for the meetup.
I like it, yeah.
And there was another guy who came in earlier the same day, and you were actually doing work on him. I remember you pull out 2 chairs and have the guy sit down and have the legs up and measure his leg. One leg is longer than the other, right? So you start to, work on his hip and everything, and then boom, his legs got even out. Yeah. And the guy was like this. And I was like, this. Ooh. So from there, I started to pay attention to this guy. This guy is a hidden gem. Still is. Still very hidden, but still a gem. You cannot deny that. So, and there's another encounter that I personally encountered you.
Yeah.
This time is distance. I remember, I think it's 2013.
Yeah.
That I was in the United States having my vacation in a resort. I was actually on my bed, playing around with my laptop, and then he was on Facebook messages, something like that. People, yeah. And then he was like, we were chit-chatting a little bit, and then he was like, how are you doing? I said, no, I'm good. And then he also said, can I do something on you? I was like, sure, go ahead. I did not expect anything, and because I wasn't having any pain or ailment, I did not expect anywhere to have any changes or shift. But honestly, man, I felt that. And the moment he started to type okay, I got to start doing this. And then I felt my hip Literally, I was sitting on a bed. Think about it's a soft thing. And I feel my sitting bone all just move out to the right side and drop in. Just like this. Literally, I'm not exaggerating. I still can remember the feeling. It was like, what is this? And then I asked you, like, what did you do? And then you said, I found this and that and here and there. I was like, you must do something. And you must do something. And that's all I had in mind. This guy must do something to the world. And you start doing that over the years, and you help so many people. I believe you lost count.
I mean, Carrie's one of them. She was just talking about her music and how she had pain in her fingers because she's playing. And I go, well, maybe we can help you with that. And I guess exactly what happened. I guess I helped her over the phone, so it was kind of nice.
And honestly, I have more people responding to my interview more than ever in this one. A lot of people saying hi right now. Hi, Belinda. Okay, so back to the interview. Today, the focus is you, not them. But we'll take care of them later. Folks, we'll take care of you later. Okay. But let's listen to this guy. Now, most of us know you because of your remarkable work. Many of us has been benefit from that. Right? But not a lot of people know about your struggle. What has been your biggest struggle in the past 3 years?
Struggle, it's probably my own problem. It's my own fault, I guess, for doing this. I mean, it's not my job. It's just a hobby at the time. And I had a real job on the side, and I was working on that. And, I never took it seriously. A lot of people told me that I was good at it and this and that. Goes, yeah. I didn't really take it too seriously because it was just a hobby. Because I was actually getting income from somewhere else. So I just help people for free, whatever, just for the heck of it. And I guess I'm blocking myself from where I need to be because I can't really help enough people if they don't know about me. Right? But of course I wear this because...
You're just too handsome.
No,
Aaron said that.
No. But what I meant was, the main thing was I want to keep this because I want to keep the rest of my life, more private. I have personal business that I don't always share with everyone out there. And but I'd rather just I'd be able to share the healing part. That aspect is open and free. Like I have free videos out there that help people, and you can surely feel some relief from those few videos I left out there on YouTube. Anyone can access that, but the rest of it, that's my life. And I did share about my health issues. It was one of the first few times I actually shared a part of my life, and I discussed my health issues that kind of took me by surprise. But whatever. I guess that's part of the whole struggle.
It's struggling between having your work public but yourself private.
That's right. That's a tough one. And
that's exactly one of the reasons why I want to showcase you at this time, because a couple days ago you actually pulled out a post saying that like, I like to be private, I like to be introvert. Like, you have a problem with that, it's not your problem, not my problem. Like, not exactly your wording, but like, that's the idea, right? Yeah. And we were just joking around who did that. Like, I thought I was the one who kicking your butt all this year.
Cindy, she said it. She wanted to keep me to herself or something.
But I want to, through this interview, telling everybody who loves you so much that it's okay that you are loved publicly, but you still preserve your private self. This is totally your choice. And I'm totally okay with him hiding his face in front of the camera. It's his choice. And that doesn't cut anything of
Fraser,
what he say. Yeah, happy birthday, Fraser.
Got to ask you,
and you hiding your face, keeping yourself private, doesn't cut any short in all the power that you work with.
Yes,
it's nothing to do with that. Like, your private life is your private life. You choose how much you want to present it. You choose how much you want to put it back into yourself. So I hope all the friends and loved ones, because I fell into this trap myself first, because I have judged him. That's why I kick his butt in the early years so much to serve a certain purpose. But now I kind of know how to honor that limit and how much to kick at the right time, and then come back in and not overdoing it. So I hope everyone who are our mutual friends who know both of us well enough to understand that he is powerful, and we want to help him to build his remarkable work. But also at the same time, we as friends would also need to honor your boundary, your choices, and I think it's also you being the introvert is part of your gift to be able to build your power. in your own way, not being distracted by anything else. So it is actually a good thing. So preserve him as he is until one day he want to change, then it's a choice again. We help. Yeah. But honoration is very important to not just him, not just us, to any healer, any light worker out there. Sometimes I think receiver did not know how to step back to honor our boundaries because we're so wholeheartedly well-intentioned. We want to help. We want to help. Sometimes even ourselves did not know how to hold our boundary because we want to help. But there should be some lines drawn in between the work and our own private life that we can respect neutrally in between all the boundaries, that we stay healthy and happy, not feeling drained. So receiver out there, please honest everybody's boundary. Like even the biggest, strongest, most remarkable healer needs some time to retreat and needs some time for themselves to heal their own darkness. So let's put everything together in love and compassion. So you talk about your own physical ailments over the time. I know you don't like to talk about details, but what is the biggest enlightenment out of that after you pass through it? What have you learned from it?
Well, okay, so I did make a video about that past issue just went by. I had a stroke. I had a hemorrhagic stroke, and I wasn't able to move. I couldn't talk. This whole right side was numb, and I was having just trouble balancing and all this kind of thing. And I kind of still do. I do. But I kind of realize a lot of things, almost the difference between life and death, right? And when you're here on Earth and you have all this stuff to play with, this 3D world to play with, when you're in that dark space where there's nothing going on, just blackness for me, the contrast really taught me a lot more. The contrast between life and death, yes, for sure. I think that was the biggest takeaway I had from that. How, I have all this opportunity once again, and I really realized how important these, interactions I have with people, situations would be. It was the best thing, and I would value them a whole lot more.
So by going through the contrast, you honor the contrast.
Yes, a lot more.
And then you learn to manage it.
Yeah, more so.
What gets you, is there any one thing that gets you through this period as a strategy to get you go through this contrast, to come to this realization that it is actually okay to go through that? What keeps you stay focused?
I have some people, very important people in my life that have given me drive, much like yourself, no, for real. You guys know this. You must know this. Everybody who's been on her show, who that she's touched in her life, she actually leaves you with this huge impression, like, you're a really good person. I can trust you. I've trusted you since the beginning, since my journey, and that's why we're having lunch. And I was telling him about this kind of, what? Because you are more like the conductor of the people that you've met. You kind of like, gave them direction, gave them drive, and it's people like yourself that give us more, more to thrive on, just to, grow, become better ourselves for other people as well. So you got to take that back. It's really a lot of it's you. You've actually.
Thank you for allowing.
Yeah, but it's definitely people, right? Experiences like that, meeting the right people, the right time. It was really very interesting. So far, it's still very interesting. Still learning, still growing.
Still learning, still growing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we talk about life and death, right? What is your take on death right now? Like, how do you see it now?
It was given to me so that I could realize, look at what you got. Don't discount what part of life you have. Doesn't matter, rich, poor, successful or not, whatever. Like, you have all these experiences. They're really amazing, right? It's great to have some sort of experience and to have none. Even if it's suffering, if you want to call it that, it's suffering. Yeah, I couldn't move, couldn't talk. And even that suffling, wow, this is a very interesting experience. I know it sounds bad, but for me, it was very interesting. Because I can't move. Wow, this is crazy. It's kind of ridiculous like that, but I couldn't move. And so it's just so interesting when you actually can. Like, when I crawled out of that hole, I felt so much better. Like, it's being part of the struggle. Like, the struggle was part of the journey. And as you kind of peek out of the hole, like, wow, I kind of made it. I'm alive. This is great. And every interaction after that was just, I always thought, this could be the last one. This could be the last last time I ever have this experience. Every time it is, right? Because you'll never repeat the same experience. It never can be. You could do something very similar, but just like the stream, you know, the water's always different, right? So every experience with people and you know, situations is always different. And so you value that so much more because you never know when you're going to go, right? Being my age, I'm kind of old, but not that old. And so people shouldn't be, you know, thinking about I'm going to die, but now I do in a sense. Not in a morbid way, but to realize every moment is precious. And people you spend time with are very important who you spend time with. I'd rather not spend time with people that are not going to give me some kind of impact, some change my life to make it better in some way. So
yeah, I hear you. So it's not like we think about dying all the time to afraid of it. It's more like we honor the possibility of dying at any moment that it needs to be done, that out of that we treasure all the moments we still have when we're alive. So it's totally different intention. And I totally can relate to his experience because I have two incidents myself that got me bedridden.
Right.
For like, yours is much longer. Mine was like 10 days and 14 days.
Right.
And what I admire you is, it took me a couple years to be able to embrace those experiences and really fully learn from it. For you, it was just months. You walk around it very quickly. You turn around very quickly. Like for me, it's like I can totally relate that part of when you cannot move, when you cannot do anything else, but you're still conscious. You're still alive. You're still breathing. What are you gonna do, right? So it's really get you to think about, okay, what I have done, what I have lived, what I haven't. So do I want to just die like this?
yeah.
Or do I want to, if I am given another chance to get up, will I live differently? Like that's one of my biggest aha moment in those incidents is you really have to stop and rethink your life.
Right.
And all of a sudden you just realize, oh, that is what about. So now we talk about your take of death. What about your take of life now? After you went through almost dying.
Yeah, it is kind of like that. Every moment is very precious, and I plan to go through with certain ideas I have in my mind, the drive, I have the vision of what I want in the future, right? And I'm not as afraid as I used to be. You know, I was more afraid, like, what would my real clients think of me if they found out I did this? Because you know what? If I face death, it really doesn't matter. What am I really afraid of, right? And so I kind of let that part go. I guess I'll just fully get into it now. And that's why I started to take clients, right? Before it's just like, oh, just help this person here, help this person there. You know, people around the world, whatever the case is, right? But
and that's very healthy. Yeah. You know, how long I've been hoping to see you start charging for your service, because your service is remarkable. It's very efficient, very quick, and doesn't require much on the receiver side, and it's so effective. Like people just like all of a sudden just get up with even spine, even hip, same length of the leg, same length of the arm, be able to lift up the chest, be able to breathe. It's something, and it's worth recognition. And I hope we be an example for all the healers out there that hoping to do this full time, be able to sustain themselves through this. We be the example that this is possible. This is totally possible, totally the way it should be. Just like doctor dedicated all the time in studying and then in working, they get paid, they get to sustain their families, totally rightful. Like, why healers not? Right? We should be acknowledged and should also be in some way appreciated for our work, because that appreciation from the receiver help them heal faster, because appreciation is a good energy. So if the receiver learn to give an healthy exchange of their money or recognition or whatever to the facilitator, that appreciation get them heal faster. Right? So yeah, be the example of all the light workers out there.
I want to add one more part in. At the beginning, I started to realize how this kind of exchange happened. What people did was they kind of judged people who did charge, right? Like, oh, how could you charge money for this? I understand their perspective, but at the same time, what we're doing is we're giving them an opportunity. I say I charge $5, $10, $20, whatever, $100, whatever the case is, the money that they're asking for the exchange. No one has to say, okay, well, I have to take it. I feel ripped off. Because there's a lot of other healers, right? You can have the choice of the world, whatever you want. But if you want this person that badly, then you have to say, well, I guess you have to agree to the amount that you guys decide on. Both sides both have to shake hands in a sense. I'm agreed for $100. So am I. I'm agreed for $2. Yes, so am I. Right. So it belongs to either side, like both sides, to say that they agree on some number, right? But do not feel like they're forcing you to pay the money. We're not trying to scam people. We're giving you an option. That's all it is, right? So they have to agree on the option, right? There's no forcing of any sort. There's no blackmail. It's like, pay me if you want. Don't want to. There's other people down the street. Find me when you have the money. Whatever the case, right? So I think that's one of the understandings I came to,
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah,
also,
there's no forcing. Yeah, it's agreement, mutual agreement. That's how it is. Yeah.
So folks, save up your money.
Like, I realize that I'm charging a certain rate, but at the same time, I still do free stuff. You just don't know it.
Yeah,
and people have no idea I'm doing this free stuff on the side. I find people online. I just go, you know what? I heard that you're paying. Let me just help you with this. It does happen. Okay. And still at this time, my videos are free. All this stuff is free. We should do your video soon too.
Oh, yeah. So at the end of the video, Norman actually would give a mutual healing. So stay until the end of the video and receive something remarkable from him. And every time you replay, you get an update of that too. So you get a kind of a recharge out of that work that he's going to display to you at the end of this interview. So stay tuned for that. Yes.
How about I just do it now?
You want to do it now?
I'll imprint it now, but then we can continue talking. Because once it's on. It's up to imprint it. So what I'm going to show you or let you experience is this display of energy through the screen, through the people. And if you play this afterwards, you'll get the same effect. It's not like you have to be here live. So good for you people who are live right now, but still, you will receive the same benefits after. So I guess I'll start from the beginning of this video, and I'll make this intention happen now. Hold on, give me a second. This will be a general healing. You might feel some energy, but I'll allow it to
I feel it here.
Release some type of pressure or pain, tension in your body, general stuff. I'm not going to focus into any kind of other types of issues, but just maybe achy muscles or...
Guys, if you feel anything, you're welcome to give us feedback of what you picked up.
And the thing is, I don't know who's watching.
I feel it on my left side, here next to the head.
Okay, so I'll just make it
to
the end of
mostly
the
for
video.
me is around this area.
Okay, so people watching, you should start to feel some sort of energy happening. And again, it can happen now that you're watching live, or you will receive the same thing as you watch it later as a replay.
I feel it's still kind of moving like that, like behind my jawline, on top of the neck is like this. Very interesting. Anybody feel anything? Welcome to share with us.
It's okay.
Thank you for that energy. Maybe along the interview, if you feel like intuitively you want to do more, we can just randomly do more. Wow, we're healing today. Okay, so how do you feel about your life in general now after you went through that huge... I know you're still recovering from some of the aspect of that stroke, but how do you feel now in general?
I feel good. I feel good. I'm so lucky.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Oh, Susan Taylor. Hey,
all around my head. Oh, yeah, I felt the same thing, Susan.
Yeah, so, I feel good. I survived. I mean, I think I was just really lucky. Like, it could have went anyway. It could have been like Luke Perry, at 50-something years old. He just, died from a stroke. And it could have gone really bad, but I was really lucky. Doctors were shocked. Like the 3 doctors, because they're on rotation, right?
Right.
They're flipping through the paper. Oh, it looks like you had a hemorrhagic stroke. Goes really? Goes, and they flip back to the front page. Oh, you had a stroke on Christmas Day, and goes, and you can walk already. You can talk. Goes, well, I can walk okay, but I can't really walk as well as before. Goes, yeah, but you're walking. They said, because this is less than a week. Like, how are you doing this? Right? I didn't really tell them because, of course, this is the medical industry. They're gonna think I'm nuts, right? But I really just I did focus, like just more of a focused meditation. And intention in my mind of moving and remembering how I used to move, how I used to talk. And then it's just visualization of the energy moving through the right side and connecting. And then within 3 days, I was moving. I was able to at least pick up a spoon and move my right arm. And then easily within a week, I was standing up. Weak, can walk up to the front of the door and go back to bed. That's it, I guess, lay down. But my focus was really on my own healing because my family seemed okay. I mean, they were accepting of how I was. Because okay, well, take it easy. Don't try to do anything. Just relax, sleep more, rest more. And when I saw them that they were kind of okay with my current situation at that point, I said, okay, now I don't have to worry about my family or anything anymore. I have to focus on my body. I have to make sure I'm okay. And then as I did that, my physical activities was, the walking, balancing, all that kind of thing. And when I was lying there, I would just do more focus on my internal work, right? So that's how it went.
What kind of internal work were you doing?
Yeah, it was pretty much visualization, intention to be able to move, to be able to talk properly, just kind of remembering, trying to noticing how I'm feeling and how I used to feel, just trying to connect the dots, almost trying to become, in vibration with that kind of reality. I need to be mobile again. I need to talk. I need to be able to move. So
you feel around the body and pick up different places that kind of lost the connection and reconnect them.
Yeah.
And linking dots around with that awareness.
I started doing my own physical
right?
stuff. I did this myself when I was in bed. No one knows. They're outside. I'm just doing this to myself. I'm trying to fix myself. And when I would get tired, I would go to sleep and I'd lie down and I'd focus again because my left arm's tired now. Now I have to think about how to move again. So 24/7, the whole process was just me focusing on my own recovery.
So around that time, right, you were doing your own work. Were there any other people who were able to help you, assist you, or were you just have to do it all on your own?
You know what? A lot of people I guess I had told people I got sick and they tried to do some more after I was out of the hospital because I didn't answer my phone. I shut it off. I couldn't because I was being bombarded by my regular clients. And then on top of that, then I have other people asking me, what's going on, right? Because I didn't answer for a while. And I'm usually pretty much on those text messages or whatever, or messaging systems. And I took off WhatsApp. I told my sister to take care of all my messages, let them know what's going on, especially if it's related to my actual work, right? Because social stuff, just leave them alone. You can leave a message that I had stroked out or whatever, that's fine, right? But I don't want, I didn't want to have to answer anything because the stress, right? There's too much.
Absolutely. Yeah, but the bombardment, it's also showing that a lot of people really love you. Right, folks? A lot of people really love you.
I think it's what
it's way more than what you can imagine. Seriously, and then you don't even know how many people like ourselves and a couple of our mutual friends got bombarded because of that.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's just this is all of love. This is all about love. This is and we will actually, sorry folks, we have to filter what to show him at the time because he was in distress and in despair. So we could not just transfer all the message totally to him. It's just too much for him. So, but I just want to show you that everybody is loving each other. That is great. We have a great community here.
Yes,
and I was trying to help and I found that that's not much I could help at the time. That's what I picked up.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, people said, I sent you energy. So I can't say they never helped, right? These guys they have it in their intention. I think it would help me. I do believe that everyone who gave me prayers or intentions actually helped in my recovery in some way. Definitely in some way. I believe we all have power. We all have power, so it's no question about that. To what extent they're using it, it's another thing, but still, the love, the intention that they sent towards me, it's all, it's all
the good intention is always appreciated.
Yes, very much appreciated, yeah, for sure.
Right, so basically you revive yourself using the internal...
Luck revived me. I don't know. I'm not sure. I just did it. I tried my best myself. I can't say. I really can't say. I tried.
I know you're the founder of Formless Movement, but is there anything that you can share, a tangible method that what do you exactly do in terms of internalization? This is a big word, right? Internalization, you feeling certain things is internalization. You imagine certain things is internalization. You try to put out an intention outward is internalization too. It's a different way. So what do you use mostly in terms of that internalization as a method that you can share that people can actually try themselves?
Oh. Interesting. maybe he's got a hip problem. Anyways, internalization, I think it starts with one thing first. It's the trust in yourself.
Trust in yourself. That's
Yeah,
very
there's no
important.
question. I mean, it might be a stupid trust in myself, like it's just a reckless type of belief in my own self. It's almost like, I think it's my upbringing, you know. People taught me a certain level of, you know, surety in everything I did. You know, I didn't feel like I was ridiculed or anything. I didn't care what people said about me because, no, I don't care. I don't care if you like it or not. I'm going to do me, right, kind of thing. And so
Be
they
yourself.
gave me that. They gave me this type of belief in myself. And so even that's the
Family is
skills
pretty good to you in that sense,
yeah.
especially as a Chinese family.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Especially the Chinese family. They let me do whatever I want.
Yeah, it's
honestly.
not easy to get a Chinese family like that.
Or pretty much probably any family, to be honest, right? But they were really like good about, you know, do what makes you happy, right? And that's why I think
That's
I probably grew
huge.
up very differently than other people, right? As I was younger, I probably was more, you know, looked down upon because I didn't do the typical let's go to university, get your marks and all that stuff. But I was more, you know, just don't worry about what they do because you just do you, be happy. But it's not about you know, popularity, fame, money. It's not about that. Just make sure you're happy, whatever you do. I go, all right. Then I just went out and played, and that kind of just ended up being, you know, the formless movement as it is. It's just an expression of how I am. It's
Your
a very
true self.
trust, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's a deep trust in myself. Okay, I can do this. I can help these people. I'm able to. So that's the first step. Before you do anything, you have to trust yourself. So at least you have an anchor. Like before you begin, you have something that, you know, anchors you down, and then you can pretty much go anywhere. Because if you're kind of loosey goosey, and then you just be floating around, you'll never have a really solid, you know, foundation. Basically.
Right. So basically, it's trust yourself and be yourself and do whatever that makes you happy. So it's like when you do things that makes you happy, you're also honoring who you are, and you build in turn more trust in yourself, and then there's a little bit to like a really sustaining cycle.
Yeah, do not falter. Believe in what you are, who you are, and follow that. Because if you keep listening to everybody, you'll hear different stories from every angle. Like it really will be. Everyone has an opinion. Everybody does, and there's nothing wrong with that. But everybody has an opinion. But this is your body, this is your vessel, this is your journey, this is your everything, right? So do you. It really is. So if people feel more inclined to, you know, be more vocal, more expressive, be more everything, right, and show their face and all that stuff, fine. That's good because that's their power. That is their power, right? I'm not powerful in that way. I'd rather not show my face. I have future plans of not being found at all because I'm very remote. Because I'm very remote. Most of my work is remote, right? Like if you see me at an event or something like that, I'll do something on you directly. But my stuff, as people would know, the more recent clients, they realize that I'm never there. Like the ones, they just felt stuff really quickly, but I've never met them. They've never met me. And someone said, oh, I can't wait to see you. It was, yeah, kind of funny, but yeah, it'd be kind of cool to meet you. But that's how it's kind of going, yeah, at this point, yeah.
Well, they will still meet you somehow in some event, in some places. So whenever he appears, catch the opportunity, right? So I think that understanding of not easily take upon other people's opinion over you has a two-way element, right? So when we be ourselves, we listen to opinions, we thank it with good intention, but we also need to choose what works for us and what not, and filter it, right?
People have good, like she's got really good suggestions, right? You have to understand, like, you don't block them out necessarily, but you take it in and say, does that make any sense? Does it put me in a better place? Whatever she's suggesting, he's suggesting. You have to look at this very carefully. And if it does, then, you know, absorb that knowledge and then apply it to your life. But, you know, in the end, again, you have to really listen to your inner voice and listen to what it's telling you and do that.
And that also have the other direction of the one who's giving opinion. This is what I'm talking about, the two-way street, right? The receiver needs to filter what works for oneself. But the giver of the opinion also need to consider, like, why are you giving this opinion? Is it because you're afraid this guy would not be doing exactly what you want this person to do? Like, your view of this person, how he or she is supposed to be, is it valid on that person? Or is it your own fear that not seeing this person flourish, so you're afraid you will not get that success yourself? Or is it you really want to give something valuable to this person? You see the value of this opinion on that person, so you give that opinion, but still be open to the person saying no to you, right? Because if you cannot take no, it is not love. Like, love includes everything.
Yeah.
The yes and the no, the like and the don't like, the light and the darkness. If you cannot accept someone saying no to you, then you need to ask yourself, is that really out of my own fear, right? This is how I see it. So this is what I also learned in the interaction throughout the years with you. Like, I was a very, very strong-minded person. Sometimes very impulsive. I have to admit that. Sometimes I'm very impulsive.
But that's your power. That's your power too.
But I also learned to step back. Okay, when I put out this idea on you, yeah, I would expect that you listen, because if I don't find it valuable, I wouldn't even say that. So when I put it out there, it's my subjective belief that it's of your value and you should take it. But is it really the case? Did I forget to honor your choice? Did I forget to honor your needs? Or do you even want to? Like, I mean, we all want everybody to be well. Like, we all want everybody to be well. But the well we think, is this the best for that person? It's really questionable. Because we are human beings, right? Like, our thoughts and our understanding are always limited to a certain point that we can understand. But we can only understand that much. But there's so many people out there. There's so many different forms of life. There's so many different variations of existence. Do we really understand them all to the extent that we know exactly what's best for that person and what not, right? So that's why we all have our own individual higher self. Like, we should not like cross over to be someone else's higher self. I learned my lesson.
I think suggestions are always good, right? Because it's another perspective that they may not have seen, right? So I always do that too. I try to offer them, but then at the end I go, well, you're going to have to do your thing. That's fine, right? But I would definitely offer them a different view, because a lot of times when you're stuck in a view, you only see that one path and it goes, well, have you thought of this? Or have you thought of that? So it's good to see more options, right? But I just wouldn't say I'd force it on them. Just take a look. Think about it. Is this the place you want to be or not? Because just like my teaching thing, you know, I try to teach people to be formless, right? Like, why follow a style? Why be a cookie cutter of another style when you should be an expression of your own self, right? And that's why I feel that I become, in a sense, more like powerful than a lot of normal people who kind of just follow the traditional ways, right? The traditional way is the way that never changes. That's what tradition means, right? It follows off after some ancient old style that doesn't develop, doesn't become more improved. It stays the same, right? So my method is more like it always tries to change and adapt to the situation. The growth in illnesses, we have to become better to incorporate that stuff, like the say fibromyalgia or something like that. New stuff that you said really didn't come out until recently. But, an old way may not be able to deal with it as well. But the new ways have to incorporate always, like new things, right?
Yeah.
Take on new things. But there is definitely, there's a place definitely for traditional methods and means. Some people find it a lot easier, right? To just follow a booklet, a plan, system, and that's it, right? But other people that I've been finding recently, they seem like they're very expressive, they're very individual, and they do understand what I'm trying to say about healing styles. To me, I really think that it's a bunch of like cookie cutters, like, the same thing repeated, and stamp. But then this one, whoa, this is a Picasso. This is something different. Look at these phases. Look at these bodies. Look at these shapes. The painting itself is crazy. But that's the expression of this person. That's why he was so good in that sense, right? People recognize that stuff. Other people who look like, realism as their painting, it looks like everyone else because it just looks like real, right? Wow.
Yeah, the sky agree with you. The universe agree with you. So your method or your campaign or project is called Formless Movement.
It's a movement.
How do you define formless?
Formless it's pretty much like how people are. You can't lock them into one type. Some days I'm happy, some days I'm sad, some days I'm angry, whatever. It's just like how people's emotions are. We're always just a movement of all kinds of emotions, right? And it's very similar to that, and it should be an expression of this healing art, right? That's why Formless Movement is more about being more expressive. And I think that what I would like to offer is something more like a class about how do you get out of the box. Whatever you were taught, come to my class and I'll show you how to explore. It'd be like almost a painting class. It's funny. Like it's a one-day thing. No, you don't want it. It's something like that. You know what I mean? Like, because you have all the paint, you have all the paper, right? But you never really figured out how to
Express.
paint someone differently, or a horse differently, or whatever the case is. Paint something in a different style. So I would say, you know what, come and try this thing out. I'll probably give you a series of instructions. Try this, try that, and go, I never thought of doing it that way. Yeah, probably not. And it's kind of like that. I just want people to express themselves. It's a movement towards freedom of expression of the healing art, basically. It's what it is. Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be fun. Formless painting with Norm.
It's something like that.
It's already an event. Stay tuned for that one.
Maybe, I don't know. I haven't thought about that yet. But it should be something like that. It's just, you come to the workshop, you kind of bring your modality, and you remember what you know about that, but then I'm going to say, well, why don't you try these things? Why not, right? And get you to try it in the workshop. And then you'll start to say, why can't I try that about other things, like other methods, other this and that? And then it'll get them to think differently, open their minds.
So trying different elements out of the same topic and trying different variations
for sure, I think so.
Integrate and
That would be
recreate.
fun. That would be fun.
That's your formless, because it's not just one way or the other. It's like it's keep developing and it's unlimited.
Yeah.
Right. So what about the movement part? What is your vision over that?
The vision of what I'm going to do.
Right, movement is supposed to be like
It's some kind
something happening,
Yes,
right?
it's some type of I don't want to say fight or some kind of uprising or some petition. It's something like that. I mean, the fact that I'm here is really just an expression of the opposite. It's almost the yin and yang of structure, of all the structures that we've learned, all the cookie cutter stuff, and the complete freedom of just doing whatever the heck you want, making things happen, right? Like, you saw how I grew legs on people. It's not like I had to do a 1, 2, 3, step 1, 2, 3, pull the leg, or it wasn't like that. I said grow or something that then would come out, right? Mm-hmm. It's just whatever I wanted, right? It's like I could just go like this and do this, and then the leg would just stretch out. It doesn't really matter. And you start to realize the freedom of just being whatever you wanted, right, is quite powerful, right? But
when you put it as a movement, do you have any vision or expectation over what you want to see in this movement? Right? You being formless is one thing, but when you put it into a movement, what is your purpose in there?
I just want to show people that there's a different way, other than the cookie cutter stuff like that you've seen. It's like the regular, typical healing styles that you see out there. You know, I don't have to give it names, but you should know what I'm talking about. There's very conventional ones, more common ones that you hear all the time, right? But these people, once they kind of learn their level of mastering this kind of style, they start to question things. They start to expand and get out of that area. So I'm probably talking to the people who can understand and accept that allowing yourself that freedom gets you further than the cap of, you know, what you've been taught. You've been taught to be in a box, and this takes you further, much further. And so people are interested in learning more about themselves, expressing themselves even more. This is something that you would have to look into. The movement is as big as it can be. I don't know what it can be. I mean, how many people believe in what I can do? I'm not sure. Maybe they think I'm just a freak and that's the only reason. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, people might think that they won't be able to learn it, but how do you know until you try?
So from what you just said, right? So your movement, like my impression to it is like it's movement of the heart shifting into more timeless, limitless, formless, more freedom of perspective.
Yeah, something like
Is
that.
that right?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it could be in so many ways. It's almost like the vegan movement. You know, there's a vegan movement that's going on that's causing a lot of people to think whether they should eat meat or not. It's that way as well. It's not just like physically a movement, like, you know, the way I move my hands, the way I do something, in motion for my healing. It's really
Not
like
a campaign, but more like bringing up
it
the
could
awareness.
be both. It means both. All of that stuff, all at once. I made sure that name meant everything. Like, it could cover a whole lot of things, a lot of bases. Like, just, yeah, like a campaign, like you're saying, you know, might be a physical movement of the hands, right? It's just formless. It should not be defined. That's all.
Okay, so now formless movement is not everything that you do. There would be other aspects of you. So what is your current vision of yourself?